want to welcome you all here today in Basel for the second annual Magnolia Conference. I'm really happy to see you all. It's great to see many of the faces again that were here last year. And it's also fantastic to see many new faces. Thanks for joining us this year. For those that have been here last year, I know you really enjoyed our keynote, Pascal and myself. And we thought that even though you liked it, we are innovative, we try something different this year. This is why we're sitting here today with Sandro here on my side. He is our partner for strategic marketing, and he will interview us today. And the idea is that we kind of do this outside in instead of inside out. So instead of Pascal and myself talking a lot about what we want to tell, he's basically going to ask the questions that you want to get answered. So thanks very much, and here's to you, Sandro.
Thank you, Boris, for the nice welcome, and let me welcome you all as well. I'm going to ask a few questions to the founders of Magnolia, and it will mainly be about the values and what it's all about, why did they actually start it, and so on. So expect some very philosophical and deeply going discussions. Nevertheless, I think they will be very entertaining and you will enjoy this keynote. So this is the second conference this year. You had the first one last year, and I remember that you were both very excited about this conference. So it's 12 months that passed. What happened in these 12 months? Please give us a quick overview of the highlights.
Well, I think there's a lot that happened in the last 12 months. Most of the people here will know, but it's hard to know where to start. We have released at least 2 major releases for Magnolia, 4.2, 4.3. We've released Magnolia Blossom Spring Integration Module, which you will hear more about later. We have done a lot of stuff in marketing. We have started PR in the USA. We have obviously won new customers. Anything I forgot? Lots of case studies. We have released a book that you all should have in front of you now. We have made a technology decision that was hotly debated, and lots of other stuff. I think there's more than I can actually talk about in the 45 minutes.
I think what's very important for me, especially from the business development side, is that we have, again in a row, 50% more turnover this year comparing to last year where we had again 50%. It's very interesting that this is going to be since 2006. Since 2006 we have this growth, which is nice and which gives us the power to develop even further our product, to give it more power in the product itself.
So for this conference, what are your expectations?
Our expectations, that's difficult to say. Our expectations is to bring our product and to bring what we have currently now into a new level, into a level where we have this quietness in our company, where we can have the development people doing next steps, thinking about what's going to come in the next 5.0 release, which we will see today, a presentation from Philippe, and where we have this easiness to bring all steps further. Boris said that we started to be on the market with PR and marketing in the US. We started about 2 months in Germany. We will even start further in other markets to be available and to be present. And this is something which is very interesting from a sales point of view and from an available point of view. We have grown our partner section, which is very important. Yesterday we had the partner day. We met 30 people here in Basel. We had some nice discussions about how to improve our communication with our partners and how to be available for them, because our success is all depending on our partners.
So does this conference feel any different than the previous one?
Well, we'll know by the end of the conference. I think it mainly depends on the people that are here. It's a new location. I really like the location. I hope you do as well. It accommodates more people. I hope we can be here again the next couple of years. I mean, my expectation is that we can grow the community with this conference. That's why we're doing it. It's a great event for everybody to meet and mingle and make new friends, discuss technologies, discuss ideas that they have, get together to build new stuff. And we've seen that last year, and I fully expect this to happen this year again. And you can just see by some of the people this morning how they met. It's like, hey, it's good to see you again. So I really like that feeling about the conference.
And it's very important. It's not about sales. It's not about 50% growth in licenses and having more partners. It's about growing the community as well. I mean, we are an enterprise content management system, but we are open source. And open source is a key point. And we need a community. I mean, we can't grow without the community. We need to have the feedback every day, not only from the partners and from the clients, but from the community itself. So growing the community is one of our key strategies in this year, as it was since the last conference, but will be ever, and has to be with Gregory, who is our new community manager, started or will be started today with his talk, or tomorrow with his talk, I think tomorrow, at the conference.
So you told me yesterday that this conference has a nice side effect, that some things internally get done because they have to be shown at the conference, which would have otherwise taken longer, right?
Yes, yeah, I think you'll all realize a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks on all fronts, obviously on the marketing front as well as on the product front, as well as on the Forge for the community, which you will hear more about. Also, Gregory is going to make an announcement after the keynote quickly regarding the newly launched forum. So you may look forward to that, and we look forward to your feedback. So I think there's a lot of stuff that had to be done by this conference. Not least Magnolia 5 prototype, of
exactly.
course.
And it's not only that the product is ready now to be shown in a talk, but it's in our minds that we do a step for each conference. People are going to be prepared to show what they have done, and to be prepared that they have to go into discussions about what they did the last year and what they're going to do. And this is so much interesting that everybody gets into discussion about his position and what he's doing and what he's doing next. And this is what interests me personally from a CEO point of view, if I see my employees going into these kind of discussions, which are so important.
So we've heard about a lot of good things that happened in the past 12 months and great things that will happen here. And we heard about one little secret of your success, that's having a conference that pushes everyone to get things done. But let's go a bit deeper now. What is actually the secret sauce of Magnolia's success?
I think, from my point of view, it's sustainability. I mean, everything what we did in the last 6 years since we started the Magnolia 1.0 release is based on a long-term base. The long-term base is so much important. I mean, if you see how we are structuring our licenses, for example, or how we're structuring our support. It's not, about upfront pricing. It's not about, doing the fast money. It's about supporting our customers with renting, with subscribing Magnolia. And this gives us the power to invest into the product for years. It's not, having $1 million in one day and then, looking for us and having it nice. So it's like really investing into company, investing in our employees and proceeding that way. So we are in a great position right now that we have the power to invest for the next 2, 3, 4 years into new products, into new marketing campaigns. That helps everybody. That helps our partners, but that helps our customers as well, because they get more and more modules, they get more feedback, they can possibly ask other community members, and that's something which is very nice.
You have something to add?
Yeah, I think obviously there's a lot of stuff. In retrospect, it's kind of easy to say this is why we're successful now, and we hear that we are much more visible across the globe. We win new clients in the US. recently the US Navy has gone online, and Matt will have a talk later today about that. So there's certainly an element that you can call success. And the question is, we won I forgot that with the achievements, we won the Swiss Open Source Awards 2 weeks ago, which is also great. I think the success is based on our values, on the culture that we have in the company, on our employees, and this whole thing is driven by Pascal and myself, obviously. You all know, most of you might know, that back in 2006 we were down to 4 people, so it was a very tight relationship between those 4 people, and I think from this core the company has grown considerably now, but the values have been there from the beginning. I think these values, honesty, openness, transparency, open communication, flexibility, agility in your mind, responsibility for the actions that you have, these are all traits and values that we seek when we hire people. And today we have really an outstanding team. Thank you, by the way, for all of you that are here. And I'm really proud about that. And I think that drives the success, that drives the product success, it drives the communication, it drives the direct communication from Pascal with customers and partners, which makes a difference.
It's the trust. It's the trust that we give into our employees, but it's not only our employees that get that trust. Hopefully, it's our partners as well. I mean, what we want to achieve is we want to have the best possible communication with our partners, and if the partners are successful with their products, with their projects, then we are successful with our product. And it's not that we can sell something and there is some project implementation that doesn't work. So we help everybody there who is in our environment. And what's very important is that people at Magnolia can do their mistakes, and they can learn with their mistakes. Of course, hopefully they don't do the same mistake twice or 3 times, but they can do. And if so, because they can focus on inventing things or bringing Magnolia and the product further. This is one of my personal goal that I had when I started my own company. Let them do their work and let them innovate all the time.
So,
I think we realized early on that there are people out there that know more than we do. So we always tried to hire people that were smarter than ourselves. And what has happened in the end is that now we have a team that really attracts talent. Was asked yesterday by some of our partners, how do you manage to attract people? When I talked about the new people that we have hired this year, they were actually already known in the wider community, even outside of Magnolia, some of them, and it's kind of amazing to see them join us. And I say, well, it's always a step-by-step thing. We start with small steps. We don't do the big things, and this is happening all throughout the company. I remember Philip saying, as our head of software development, of product development, saying, we do obstacle-driven development. We just remove the next obstacle to move further. And I think that's also reflects this philosophy of building on top of each other.
And very important is we try to listen in certain circumstances to our developers. I mean, if they say, come on, let's do it technically that way or that way or that way. I mean, we are so far away from the deep technical side, and we don't know basically how it is going to be. But we have to trust to what their decisions are. And what we can do it on the marketing and PR side, and I can do it on the sales and business development side. I can take these technical decisions and bring them to the people, try to make a concept with Boris and bring it even further. And this is something, and this starts everywhere. I mean, from the administration to the product development, and then from the marketing point of view. I mean, we rely sometimes on you, and sometimes, it's like we try to move on with people around that are good and even better than we are.
So, what is it that motivates you to get up in the morning and work long hours, also to make some phone calls with the US, for example, and also to work during weekends if necessary? What is it that motivates you?
Well, personally, I must say we don't really work through weekends anymore, and but we did that a lot in the past, obviously. So this time, I think none of our staff works through the weekend. That's very rare. We have built a model that is very sustainable. Pascal already mentioned that. That means we have come to a point where the whole development, the whole mood in the company is one of security, if you want, of being able to predict what happens next. It's not the wide swings of up and down that we would have had as a service business. Now we rely on product development and product sales, and that has smoothed the waters, if you want. But if you ask what motivates me to get up in the morning, that's certainly the beautiful new office that we have. It's the amazing stuff that we do, and it's the team that we work with. It's just the people, the culture in the company that is really cool. I love to walk into the office in the morning, be able to talk to my team members and say, hey, what's new, what's happening, what's up, what's going on, what are we doing next? I like to be surprised with new features, new things that have been achieved, new milestones. And I like to discuss strategy with Pascal, of course. It's a very exciting thing to do.
This is something which is super interesting for us, because, we are totally different persons, and
not me. I'm still the same.
I'm not lively, and he is. So it's like having some ideas and discussing them with each other. It brings us sometimes. I mean, it's really difficult sometimes, but in the end, we share the same ideas, and then we can really move on, and we give this discussion culture that we have with each other. Yeah. We can give this back to our employees, back to everybody, because everybody can say, hey, I don't like what you're doing currently, and then we'll try to listen to them and try to improve our processes and try to improve our beings. And this what motivates me all the day, is coming to the office and seeing that there is happening something. It's not changing the world, it's changing our little environment that we have, but we can, and we are able to change this every day a bit.
Yeah. So what is it that rewards you? Is it that you can discuss with Boris like in an old couple, or is it the money? What is the reward for what you're doing?
I mean, money comes if the product is successful and if the way is successful. It was never about the money, otherwise we would have turned our business model into something else. We would have turned it into this upfront traditional software model, and we would have failed possibly. No, of course not. I mean, you have to have an idea where you insist to make this idea, which is our product and the way we work with our product, with our customers, to a certain point, to success. You have to have a long run, and you have to have invest a lot. So it's not about the money. Money comes, hopefully, possibly.
Yeah, I think what motivates me or us in general is the focus on the product. We believe that we can build a better product than any other out there. We have believed that from the get-go. I mean, when we looked at the market back in 2003, when we decided that we need a new content management system to replace the one that we were using, the proprietary system, there was no system out there that would meet our needs. It wouldn't meet the usability needs that were very strongly driven from Pascal, and it wouldn't meet the enterprise grade needs that are driven from engineering, obviously.
And everybody laughed at us when we started in 2003, saying, "What, another CMS? Are you crazy?" I mean, you're investing your time, your lifetime into something. I said, "Yeah, I know. I've been, in my past, I've been doing a lot of interface things, and the GUI is what has driven me into something which I said, no, we can do it better. We can really do it easier, we can do it better, and we have better people around that can do better implementations. Of course, we started with our own implementations, which were more or less successful, but as it grows, and when we had, the product growing and getting more mature, it was like, then we could start doing it right.
I think it also, if I go back to 2003 and basically one of our employees came up and said, I want to write our own CMS. I was the first guy who said, well, there are thousands out there. Let's just take one of these. And there's all this new open source stuff going on, and there must be something that's free and great. Must be. And we looked at the market. We had people coming, showing us their open source projects and so on. And we didn't find what we were looking for. So I was kind of not convinced, but, well, I had to agree that, there's nothing that's that great, so let's go and get started with something of our own. But I was very critical. I was the one guy who said, I don't want to do a CMS. I mean, I knew that we could
really
do...
the case. He told me that every day.
Yeah. I knew we could do something great, okay? That's not the problem, but I said, well, why not do something else? And I had different ideas, but... the CMS it was, and it shows the culture of discussion that we have, because once we made that decision, you can tell from the track record, certainly, that I'm a big proponent of our CMS by now.
So we've heard about the corporate culture, the values, what motivates you. How does this all translate into a high-quality product?
I start again with the culture of open discussions. The recent technology discussion that we had about Vardin, of which you will hear a talk later today as well, resulted not only in furious internal discussions, but also in a series of blog posts that have been amongst the most successful technology blogs in the last month. They've been widely read, which was completely surprising to us, but it shows a couple of things about the company, what happened there. It shows that we are open-minded. Even if there are stuff, where we think this is great, we dig deeply, we look at the implications of making us as a choice. That's true for technology, that's true for usability, it's true for all the things that we do. When we realize that something doesn't work for us, we are able and willing to look at other options and see what that would mean. And again, I cite Philip here, who was strongly against server-side technologies, but after rigorous search and implementation and prototyping, he is now, a strong... Well, if you read his blogs, it's like he has been the biggest Vardin fan forever, which he obviously is not, but it's the way that we think and act. We're very pragmatic, and we are open to discussions and facts in the end.
And what's from my point of view, and from a sales and from a CFO, I mean, we have so many hats on, and hopefully I have not that many hats in the future. But it was an investment point of view. We didn't have that much money to invest in our own technologies. So what we had to do in the past, we had to reuse what was existing. So we had to take the best technologies out there, bringing them together, and then bringing them together in a way that it is our own product, and that is not just, papping them together and having some open source technologies, but having a product on top of these. And as you all know, a product is not only marketing point of view. It's like, having something that is usable, understand the business needs, and all these stones together, that gives a whole picture. And I think we have made quite an impressive work with all these standards, putting them together with not such a lot of money than other competitors had. They had venture capital, they went into... But, in the end, you have to decide, in every step you have to do the right decisions. And if I look back, most of the decisions were the right ones that we have chosen for.
So... I asked you before what happened in the past 12 months. What will happen in the next 12 months until we all meet again for Magnolia Conference number 3?
There's obviously, like we announced on the last conference, there's going to be Magnolia 5. We promise it by time of the next conference. If not, it's going to be a year later. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be there. So we actually did pretty cool work with Magnolia 5 so far. You'll see it on Friday. I really like it. We both were very surprised about what has been achieved so far. So this is a focus in Magnolia 5, the product focus. will not only be on a new GUI. We hired a web experience developer. It was a dream candidate for us. We were really happy that we were able to get him into our team. We're looking forward to work with him.
It was one of my goals to get to focus on other things. I mean, I was responsible for the GUI in 2003 until now, basically, and for me it was important to find someone. We worked together about 5-6 years ago already, and I'm glad that he's going to join us on 1st of October. And therefore I'm happy to see this is improving as well. It's not going to be the same everything, but improving it to a certain area where we've not been before.
Yeah, so I think the product focus will remain true to our values of simplicity, usability in the product. It will have a new GUI, and it will then add on top of that a lot more flexibility in building applications and building marketing value into the product. There are lots of features we have been discussing. You also saw already that we have introduced interesting stuff with 4.3, like multi-site, multi-language, multi-domain, and so on, management for all large corporate customers that we have who run hundreds and thousands of sites. In the future, we want to bring more marketing-related information directly in the product. That will include stuff like multivariate testing. It will include stuff like introducing analytics information directly. Of course, the GUI will be much nicer. It will be very modern. There will be lots of drag and drop, but it will still very much, hopefully, resemble what we have today. So that's the product focus there, and we're really looking forward to that.
From my point of view, it's interesting that we can now focus on business needs. You know, in the past we had to focus on getting the right technologies, putting them together, making a product that is stable enough, getting enough clients to sustainably finance the whole ecosystem. But now, as we have reached this step, we can focus on business needs. I mean, we can look out there, we can listen to our partners, we can listen to our clients, and we can focus on those things. That means that we can do, for example, marketing tools on top of Magnolia, and these marketing tools can then be very, very helpful in expanding Magnolia into areas where Magnolia and open source itself is not present at all. So this is something which I see, if I look in the future, which I see and like to get.
So beyond the product focus, there are obviously lots of other foci that we have. One being the community. You've probably heard that we launched the Forge, or that it's ready to be launched. We have the first projects going on there. The community is a big aspect of what's going to happen in the next 12 months. We have seen some great contributions lately, like the Kona card integration. We have done lots of other stuff. You see Blossom, the Spring integration. That is an amazing product. And what we hope to achieve with this conference and the next 12 months and all the stuff that we do, we now have a community manager, dedicated community manager, is to grow the community to be much more visible. We also will roll out wider marketing, PR across the globe. So there's a lot that's going to happen. We also think that we hired a new partner and sales manager, so we will even further professionalize the partner network. We will grow the partner network, and maybe this hasn't been so clear in the discussion so far, but I just want to repeat it here. Magnolia does not do project services. It's a pure partner business. We do product, we sell the product, we do the product development. And I think that's important. That's why the partners are so important for us.
This is even more important if we grow. I mean, there are other companies that try to get every revenue stream into their companies. Seeing, there is nice large customers, let's get this project done. But then you completely forget to develop where you are strong in. And this is what we, even with our new partner and sales manager, Christian Hauser, what we even want to expand, so that not everybody is going to contact me, because I haven't got the time every day, so that we are two people that are the communication channel between our partners and our clients.
Great, so thank you very much for some very interesting answers. If you have more questions, do not hesitate to grab them during the conference. As you've heard, they're very open towards discussions, and perhaps you can also enter into a couple-style relationship with one of those and really have some strong discussions. Anyway, enjoy the conference further. There will be the business track and technical track going on now. Thanks again, Boris and Pascal, for the interview.
Thank you, Sandro. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And have a nice conference.